It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Friday, the 27th of June. I'm James Spann. We've got some classic summertime weather for the weekend. Some sun, scattered storms, very humid, and most likely that'll be the case through next week. And we have one little X on the tropical board this morning. We'll talk about that in just a second, but let's go right to the upper air look, which typically tells the best story this time of the year. There's a broad upper low that's over the Florida Peninsula. This morning, that feature's been there for a couple of days. That will be weakening and dissipating. The broad upper high that's been over the eastern states is weakening, and that's allowed lower heat levels. In fact, a number of locations across the state stayed in the 80s yesterday. We'll check the radar composite early this morning, and you can see a cluster of thunderstorms south of the Gulf Coast, offshore, south of Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola Beach, Gulf Shores. The rest of Alabama is dry. Mostly 70s to start today. Got a couple of upper 60s over East Alabama. Highs today, upper 80s, low 90s, which is right where we should be for this time of the year. And again, we've got a few counties up in the Tennessee Valley with a heat advisory. But again, the heat is just not that extraordinary for late June here. The heat advisory stretch up into parts of the Ohio Valley. The rest of the country is fairly quiet. Here's the severe weather outlook for today and tonight. Got one risk over parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Nebraska, and a marginal risk including a pretty good chunk of Alabama. And again, this is debatable. You could almost throw these things up every day in the summer. Any summer storm could be strong during the peak of the heat with gusty winds and some small hail. And it will not rain everywhere, but where the storms do form, they could produce that today. Tomorrow, a risk of severe storms over parts of the upper Midwest and the high plains, and a marginal risk from near Washington, D.C. and Baltimore up into New York. And on day 3, which is Sunday, got a risk of severe storms from the western Great Lakes down into the central plains states. We'll check rain for the next 7 days, valid through Friday morning of next week. And again, this is an average look. Your number could be different because of the scattered nature of the storms. 1 to 2 inches for the north, heavier totals for the Gulf Coast. And again, I stress, if you're beach bound, don't let your app or these maps scare you. We see no all-day washout down there. Every day in the summer, you will have the chance of a thunderstorm. That's just the way it works. But I do think you'll see a pretty decent amount of sunshine if you're beach bound. And yes, indeed, we have an X on the board on the tropical outlook. This is in the far, far western Caribbean. Little feature there, the Hurricane Center giving this a 10% chance of developing over the next 2 days and a 20% chance of developing over the next 7 days. And this thing will be moving over land, then coming into the extreme southwest Gulf, the Bay of Campeche, and then it moves into Mexico. And this will stay far, far south of our Gulf Coast. So again, for most of the Atlantic Basin, no issues, no hurricanes, no tropical storms, other than that one little spot for the next 7 days. So model fans, here we go. GFS 06C run. This is valid today at 4. Again, the upper high is much weaker. We have a flat ridge in place. And again, just your classic summertime setup of these random scattered showers and storms. You might receive a half inch of rain. The other side of the neighborhood gets nothing. And that's the high resolution HER. Valid this evening at 6 o'clock, showing, again, what the radar could look like at that point. And the same thing tomorrow. This is the high-resolution HER valid tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And again, we stress the radar will not look exactly like that, but maybe something like that. I'd say the chance of any one spot getting a shower today and tomorrow and Sunday will be in the 55 to 65% range, a little better than 50-50. This is Sunday. Most of the scattered showers and storms coming from roughly 1 until 9 p.m. Most, but not necessarily all. And then next week, same old thing. This is Monday and this is Tuesday. There is a weak front that will be approaching from the north, and that might give us a little enhancement in the coverage of scattered showers and storms by midweek. But we all know that fronts come down in here to die this time of the year. This is Thursday, and evidence with the GFS, it tries to bring down some drier air into the Tennessee Valley. And then a week from today, this is Friday, the 4th of July, Independence Day. Again, just a very weak upper airflow. And again, the GFS here is trying to push in drier air for the northern two-thirds of the state on Friday. And, of course, I don't believe it. I'll believe it when you see it. And we'll maintain a persistence forecast for the 4th of July. Partly sunny with a pop-up storm in spots, and it could be the higher coverage over South Alabama. Let's go out 10 days. This is Sunday, July the 6th, as we wrap up that holiday weekend. Got a 591 ridge here, and again, I promise we're showing you the different maps. They just look the same. Partly sunny with a chance of a pop-up storm in spots. This is rain for the next 15 days. The European ensemble, the mean, a little over 2 inches between now and the 12th of July. Temperatures look pretty routine here for the next 10 days. Coming off the national blend of models, notice the numbers are lower toward the middle of next week with mid-80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. That's with the possible enhancement of showers and storms with that weak front. Then we go back in the low 90s by the following weekend. And the latest long-range guidance, July 4th through July 10th. And if this works out, temperatures could be a little above average. But again, we just don't see any sign of any excessively hot weather. And typically by that down here, we mean upper 90s or higher. And with this good soil moisture, that also tends to mitigate really excessively hot weather. So on this date in 1957, we had a very, very rough hurricane, an upper-end Category 3 Hurricane Audrey that made landfall on the southwest Louisiana coast, not too far from Lake Charles. And, of course, in 1957, hurricane warnings were not that good, and a lot of people were washed away by the storm surge. We really don't know the number of people that died with Hurricane Audrey. The official number is 416, but it could easily be over 500. We just really don't know. But that was certainly one of the most violent early season hurricanes on record. Hurricane Audrey on this date back in 1957. So yesterday morning, about 11:30 Central Time, the socials were lighting up with reports of something streaking through the daytime sky. And this turned out to be a bolide, a meteor, a very bright meteor, fireball. And it was seen in many different states. It was seen in, obviously, in parts of Alabama and Georgia and the Carolinas. And our friend Bill Cook from NASA, he always does an amazing job of putting together the reports. That's the what it looked like on the lightning data coming from satellite imagery. This is a security camera video from northern Blount County up around Sneed, looking into that. And that's what it looked like. And you could actually see the meteorite that was going to reach the ground on the Birmingham NEXRAD, the Shelby County NEXRAD. The radar beam was about 15,000 feet off the ground, but that's what it looked like on radar south of Atlanta. But again, according to Bill Cook, the meteor was moving at 30,000 miles per hour, and it disintegrated 27 miles above West Forest, Georgia. And the fireball was produced by an asteroid fragment 3 feet in diameter, weighing over a ton. And we had a meteorite that actually reached the ground south of Atlanta and came through the roof of a house there. And that's pretty odd. But again, that was yesterday morning about 11:30. Pretty odd to see those during the day. But whoa, Nelly, what a sunset last night. Goodness gracious. How about that? I mean, you could not paint that. That was Lake Gunnersville last night up in the Tennessee Valley. And summer sunsets are so good. We often have convective debris, these scattered clouds that give the sky that amazing texture this time of the year. And, of course, we're almost in the dog days of summer. Dogs loving a good sunset. And I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think those are a couple of cows enjoying a sunset. And look at the Gulf Coast last night. And again, I stress, if you got a beach trip coming up, don't let these apps scare you. A lot of people said yesterday, well, my app says it's going to rain all day. Well, no, it's not. That was a gorgeous sunset there last night. And again, sure, you'll have a storm from time to time. That's just summertime on the coast, but things were looking awfully good. So today I will be in Helena at Riverside Baptist Church for their annual summer camp. And then I will see the rising sixth graders, some rising sixth graders at Camp Journey that'll be holding this version at Thompson High School in Alabaster. Looking forward to that. And then this evening, I will be live at Free Friday Flicks in downtown Birmingham. They do those on Friday evenings at City Walk Park. And hopefully we'll have no storms around. And that'll be a lot of fun. Of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340. Thanks for watching. Have a great Friday, and God bless.